If you're running a Shopify store and your email marketing isn't generating at least 30% of your total revenue, you're leaving massive money on the table. Most store owners set up Klaviyo thinking they'll start making money from email, but instead their open rates are under 20% and they're barely getting any sales from their campaigns. Meanwhile, over at DMARC, our clients are generating results like this: 3 million in attributed revenue in just 3 months. One brand went from 443k to over 1 million in flow revenue in 4 months. Another added 85k in just 60 days from a previously dead email list. So what's the big difference? Well, it's not about having better products or even a bigger list. It's actually about having Klaviyo configured correctly day one, week one. And unfortunately, I'm not actually paid to say this, but trust me guys, Klaviyo is just the best, specifically when it's being used for e-commerce. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step Klaviyo setup process behind these results. This is the same process that we use internally at DMARC for every single one of our 7-figure clients. If you want to finally turn your email list into a revenue generating machine instead of just another expense, watch this entire video. This is going to be a full step-by-step Klaviyo setup tutorial. This Gamma doc is going to be linked down in the description. It's yours, totally free. It's going to cover things in much more detail. If I spent the time to go through each and every section, the video would be 90 minutes long. So I'm going to power my way through this. You're going to see how you can set this up really, really easy and get deliverability right from day one, week one. Guys, when I audit Klaviyo accounts, the biggest mistake I always see is a lack of proper domain warming. Domain warming is the most critical step in this entire process, as without high inbox placement, your emails honestly are just going into the trash. We want to avoid that at all costs, and I'm going to show you how in this step-by-step tutorial. You're going to get some ninja level hacks on how you can warm this domain up quickly and effectively and get that primary inbox placement or the promo placement right from the get-go. So let's hop into it, guys. So getting started with Klaviyo. First, go to klaviyo.com, sign up for their free account. Once you do, you're going to be met with a dashboard that looks something like this. So okay guys, we are now inside your Klaviyo account. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to the integrations tab that you can see right here. You're going to click it and you're going to be prompted and into this page. You're going to then copy and paste in here your store URL. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be using Shopify. Now, if you guys are using WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, it's going to be relatively the same in terms of the integration connection. So we're going to go ahead now and connect to Shopify by selecting the black call to action down here. It's now prompting us to integrate it. We're going to go ahead and do that. So you can see now that it's working. It takes maybe 10-15 seconds to fully integrate. It's lightning fast. It's awesome how good Klaviyo is at connecting with pretty much anything. While we're in here, guys, you now have to go in to the Shopify store via this blue hyperlink. The reason why is we're going to enable the JavaScript app embed. What this does is it allows the browse abandonment flow in Klaviyo to have the viewed product data injected into it in real time. So for example, if your customer is browsing products and they abandon the site, that flow will fire and it will show them exactly the product they were looking at. It should be the third or the fourth most high converting flow in your guys' Klaviyo account. So this is a good time to go ahead and do it. We'll do it together. Let's see. So you can see it's looping me into my test store. This is the toggle. When you guys first loop in here, it's going to be off. All you got to do is select it on, and then very importantly, make sure you click the black call to action that says save. If you don't, it will not auto save. So again, just toggle it on like so and click save right up here and you're good to go. Let's jump back in Klaviyo and we're going to update the settings. Let's refresh basically, and you can see now, guys, that we are green and we are good to go. The Klaviyo app embed is enabled on your Shopify store. Just noteworthy, guys, if you're coming from maybe say MailChimp or wherever the case may be, even ActiveCampaign, you can re-import the historical data from your storefront, which is very, very important if you want to get into the likes of segmentation and things like that. So you simply just select re-import. It will do it. It depends on how much data there is, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. I want to show you something here before we jump back into the doc. You guys want to make sure that you're sending and pushing over data into your newsletter list. This is going to be the list that also is integrated inside the sign-up form. That sign-up form, we will have a metric named newsletter, for example, that will trigger the welcome series. So you're going to see me talk a little bit more about this in a second. We're pretty much good to go now, guys. So we're now going to go ahead and hook up our branded sending domain. So select settings, scroll down until you see domains, click it. Now you have a couple of choices here, guys. You can either do this the easy way, which is automatic via entry, or you can manually copy and paste the DNS record. So you'll have a variety of different records to paste in. It's very easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. So notice Klaviyo automatically recognized my root domain as dynamax.max. By the way, go there right now. If you guys want any assistance in setting this up, you can book, no strings attached, free account audit or a strategy call with myself or my wife Jacqueline. So let's continue on. Here as a default, guys, I just like to use send. So you can even use email. So it's kind of giving you the option, example, send or email. I prefer send. Now we can connect this with entry, or we can set it up manually. I'm going to set it up manually in case you guys don't have the option to automatically hook it up. I'll show you how to do it manually. Now, if your domain is hosted on GoDaddy, Cloudflare, Shopify, Ionis, you're good to go here. Mine's is Squarespace. So I'm going to select other, select next, and this is a static connection, guys. So a static connection is 3 synonyms, 1 text record. You'll also need to add another record, which will be your DMARC policy. If you want to do this the dynamic way, it'll be 4 NS records, 1 text record, and 1 final DMARC record. So you can simply grab these, you just copy them, and you paste them in to, for example, GoDaddy or Squarespace in your custom records section. Once you've done with that, you're going to click verify. You'll see this, that our records are being verified. We can view them. Now, normally it takes anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds to do this. Once it's completed, you're going to see this be color blue. You'll then be prompted to activate it by typing in I understand. Then you're going to be fully good to go, guys. So again, I'm going to have inside this Gamma doc a DMARC policy for you. When you set this up, guys, in the very beginning, make sure your DMARC policy is relaxed. So do not have a quarantine or a reject policy enabled. You're going to do that later, maybe 9 to 12 months into the life cycle of your brand. If you do it in the beginning, it can overtly affect deliverability, as it is a slightly stricter form. When you put a RUA tag in there and you have, for example, the email address set to reject, it's quite a strict policy. It's for extremely established brands. Basically don't want anyone to mimic their sending domain. You guys do not need to do that in the beginning. The standard policy will be enough for you. So okay, guys, we've gone ahead now and done a platform integration. We use Shopify again. WooCom, Magento, BigCommerce, it's all relatively the same. So we've already done the historical re-import, so we're syncing customer data. We enabled our on-site tracking, JavaScript. We're going to talk about consent collection. So we're going to do that. We're going to circle back into lists and segments. We're going to also start to build out some sign-up forms. We'll be using pop-ups. We'll do a mobile and a desktop version. We're then going to hop into the all-important automated flows. I'll show you a welcome series. I'll show you a quick abandoned cart flow. Then we're going to chat a little bit more about campaigns. You're going to use the campaigns and the welcome series in tandem. Why? Because we're going to use that mechanism to actually warm up the branded sending domain. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're going to also cover basic analytics, so metrics that you guys would like to see while you're in the domain and warming phase. I'll talk a little bit about what it should look like post-warming, and we'll finally finish everything off. We'll cap it all together with some best practices and tips. So again, getting your emails delivered here, guys, is absolutely crucial. Consent is everything. I'm going to show you how to add a basic disclaimer inside your sign-up form so you're protected. You're protected and you're automatically acquiring the consent and the right to send out marketing campaigns. Okay, guys, so the marketing aspect of this is different from transactional. For example, if someone signs up or checks out, you do have the right to send them transactional based emails order updates, potentially any issues with the shipment, maybe an issue with the payment information, you have the legal right to go ahead and do that. However, for sending them and entering them inside the welcome series, a post-purchase sequence, a VIP flow, hitting them with your weekly campaigns, newsletters, things of that nature, during sign up, they must explicitly consent to receive marketing communications from you guys. This is very different than transactional. I'm going to show you how you can keep yourselves covered and avoid any legal ramifications or anything like that. And then we'll just finish it off with some conclusions and next steps. Okay guys, now let's hop into it. We're going to go ahead and build out our very first lists and segments. And then we're going to quickly segue into the sign up forms followed by the automated flows. Again guys, this is linked down below, so go ahead if you want to spend more time looking through it, go ahead and download this free doc. So okay guys, we're now back inside Klaviyo, so you're going to scroll over to lists and segments. We're going to select create new. I'm going to give you the most basic but also highly effective engaged based segments, and we're going to make a couple of them. So we're going to call this one 30-day engaged, for example. This is super basic guys, but we do use these in house. They're highly effective. So we're going to start by asking a question, what someone has or has not done before. We're going to search for opened email at least once in the last 30. We're going to add a condition and we're going to do or. So again, not and, but or. And we're going to do clicked email. Okay, so you can just select that drop down. You can scroll down here, you can see the entire list. Or if you want to quickly filter them, you can just start typing in and you can see we've got our clicked email. Lastly, and very importantly guys, we're going to do an and statement. So and this time, and we're going to ask if someone can or cannot receive email marketing. And we're also going to add an additional filter because person subscribed. We're going to simply select create segment, and that's going to go ahead and start building this. But while that's happening guys, here's a ninja hack for you. You can quickly clone this segment. We're going to change it to 60, for example. We'll delete the clone and we will fix my typo of engaged. And we're just going to make some soft edits to the time. And this is going to be our engaged 60-day segment. You can see how easy that is, guys. Clone it and we'll reclone. And this time we're going to do a 90-day segment. And you can continue this right up to day 120, day 180. You can also, once you're a little bit more established, you can even add in more different cohorts, let's say. So for example, we could also do an or. Let's do placed order. And what this is going to do guys, it's going to bring in more people into the segment, into the engaged based segment. So you could do that, we could do 90, we could do another here, let's say maybe start a checkout, for example. Again, you can scroll down and you can find that in the Shopify metrics, checkout started. And this would effectively be widened this, so we could kind of change the name slightly, 90-day engaged plus placed order or started checkout, for example. So this is a little bit of a wider segment. Now if we hop back in here, while we've been cloning them, the other ones have also been building them. So you can see these are the ones that we just made. You can also have a variety of different types of segments. We have a lot here: VIP, unengaged, SMS, newsletter lists, so on and so forth. So now guys, let's jump into our sign up forms. So we're going to start by selecting create form. Notice now Klaviyo also has these spinning wheel pop-ups. Now we're just going to make a super basic one for the purposes of this. But remember, when we were hooking up our Shopify integration, I mentioned the newsletter list. So we're also going to push anyone that signs up via the sign up form into that newsletter list. So let's go ahead and create form. You have a couple of options. You can add a teaser. A teaser is going to be super sticky, and this is going to be on your website. So you can change the shape. You can have a circle, a corner, or the standard rectangle. Now for the purposes of this, I'm going to delete this. Now you guys might want to consider keeping this, as it does add approximately 1 to 3% of a better conversion rate. So we do recommend our Dynamax clients that they have this. It's all personal preference. Some people prefer the standard sign up form with the email opt-in. So again guys, I want you to pay attention to this very important step. If I select continue, notice that the list to submit when this call to action is clicked is also our newsletter list. So super important, guys. So this is a standard Klaviyo generated form. You can come over here, you can replace the image, you can totally change around all of this text, you can even add more form fields. So a good example of an additional form field here would be first name, so that you can also personalize, for example, the welcome series to them. So you can go ahead and add that here by adding some blocks. You've got a variety. You can even add dynamic coupons, guys, as well. There's all kinds of things that you can do. You can have an SMS opt-in step. If you're just starting out, maybe you don't want to do it, you can just delete that step. Now you have your success step. So very important, guys, while you're in domain warming, you want them to go back into their inbox to go ahead and take that discount code if you're going to offer it. Once your domain warming phase is finished, I would highly recommend that you give the coupon code away immediately at the success step, because this is more conducive to a natural customer journey, which is actually has a higher degree of likelihood of increasing conversions versus forcing them to come back into their inbox. As they could become distracted, they might not even come back to the website, guys. But I do encourage you to make them do it in the very beginning, as it's going to add the open rate, the click rate, and hopefully even the placed order rate, which is really good for inbox placement. So again, guys, after the domain warming, come in here, grab a block. You could go ahead, basically throw that down there. We could then delete the go to inbox step, and we can actually configure unique static or even dynamic coupons all via Shopify. Klaviyo is very powerful and it integrates sublimely well with Shopify. There's an abundance of different things you can do here, guys. So I encourage you to play around with this a little bit, and I encourage you to make two variants of the sign up form. One that's heavily optimized for a mobile device. Why? Because approximately 75 to 80% of all signups are done via a mobile device. You do want to have another version that is heavily optimized for desktop. As a rule of thumb, guys, just minimize the scroll. Make those captures and form fields all as soon as that displays on the device. You don't want them to scroll to enter their first name or their email or select, say, submit form. You want it all to happen just right where it naturally sits. They convert way better when we optimize them like that via A/B testing, guys. It's crazy the difference when you have a double variant of this sign up form. Guys, we've connected Shopify to Klaviyo, hooked up our branded sending domain. We've just created our first sign up form. Now we're going to power in to the automated flows area. So again, we're now in flows. Let's create one from scratch so you can see how it looks. We'll do a welcome series. So guys, notice now we're inside the welcome series flow builder. So here the trigger is also the newsletter list. This is the same list that Shopify is integrated to and pushing profiles. It's also the same list that our sign up form, when it's capturing submissions, is sending them to this list inside Klaviyo. This list will also power the welcome series. So let's go ahead and use this template. I'm going to show you guys how you can delete some of the conditional splits and how you should build this out. First and foremost, let's take a look at the trigger. So again, this is added to list newsletter. So we can take a look at that metric real quick so you can see where it is. So you can see here that this is also linked to our sign up forms. Now, if we just pop back in here real quick, we're going to start, guys, by deleting this conditional split fully. We'll do both paths, and I'm going to build this out with you from scratch immediately. So let's delete this time delay, and we're going to rename this welcome series email 1. Okay, and we're going to save it. When someone signs up, you want the first email to go out immediately. No time delay, no lag. As soon as they press submit, you want that email to hit their inbox so they can go ahead and grab that discount code. Next up, we're going to grab this time delay, drag it over and drop it. We're going to grab an email, do the same again. We're also going to add a second time delay, and we're going to add in a third email here, guys. We're going to just simply drag and drop. When we're building these at Dynamax, we do like to have email 1, email 2A, 2B, email 3A, email 3B. Why? Because if someone goes ahead and transacts and uses the discount code that we're going to be serving them throughout emails 1 to 3, we want to have an alternate version of that email minus the discount code. We can simply do it by adding some logic. So let's add a conditional split. We will add this below the first time delay here. Notice now it's going ahead and give us this little branch. So we're going to do a little bit of a repeat job here by grabbing another email, popping it below, We're going to grab another time delay here. We're going to add in another conditional split right here with a third and final email below the yes path. So let's start building this out together. Good rule of thumb, guys, send them email 1, send them email 2 around 2 days later. Let's do a vanilla 6:30 p.m. recipient's local time as our time delay. Conditional split, we can go ahead and put in some logic here. So again, we're going to ask a question here. What has someone done or not done before? So this time we're going to use placed order. Now you can go a little bit more granular and you can specify the exact discount code that you've given away with another filter here. So we're going to do 0 times and we're going to select since starting this flow. We'll save it. The question is, okay, since receiving email 1, has the customer placed order 0 times since starting this flow? If the answer is yes, then they will get email 2A. So email 2A will still contain that discount code. Okay, guys, we're going to also put in a time delay. Let's do 2 days. Again, we'll do 6:30 p.m. recipient's local time. This is not the absolute best time to send this email, but it's a pretty good all-rounder. It's niche dependent and brand specific. We have found some brands where 11 p.m. recipient's local time outperforms 9 a.m. recipient's local time. Why? Because sometimes people like to doom scroll and they'll impulse purchase low ticket items later at night. Once you guys reach 12,000 active profiles, you unlock a native Klaviyo feature. It's called Smart Send Time Test. Once you've hit that, you can actually A/B test the literal exact best time to send. Obviously, I'm going to assume you're not there yet if you're just building this from scratch. So we can do 6:30 p.m., 7:30 p.m. recipient's local time, and generally that's going to perform very, very well. But do also test out an earlier time during the day, maybe try out 9 a.m., midday, 2 p.m., and generally see how the open rates are. So again, guys, same sort of logic with this conditional split here. We're going to ask a question. What have they done or not done before? We're going to do placed order again since starting this flow. So 0 times since starting this flow. Save it. Again, guys, let's name this one. We will name this 3A, for example. We'll save it. This is 2, this is 3. So let's name these our B variants here. So save that. Okay, cool. 2B or not to be. All right. So basically, guys, this is going to be a pretty banging welcome series right off of the rip. Again, just do the same sort of logic. Always match. You want, even when you're doing your campaign sending, guys, try and always do it at the same time across the board. So whatever time your automated flows are going to be going out, try and send your campaigns at the exact same time. You want to keep your brand top of mind and start to condition your customers to become used to receiving communications from you throughout different times of the day. You've gone ahead and built out the architecture for the welcome series. Now let's talk templates. If you guys want a high ticket service like mine, we can build you out drop dead gorgeous full Figma designs and export them over into Klaviyo, so you're going to get really, really juicy high converting emails. If you're just starting out, however, you can come in here and use the Klaviyo template builder. I'm going to give you a quick peek at it. This is all Klaviyo AI generated content. If you guys take the time when you're setting up your account, you add your logo, add your typography, add in your brand colors, it will propagate and populate this a little bit better. But this is the template builder, guys, and you can come in here and again, you can edit pretty much anything. You can select your fonts. You can add in all kinds of different images. Similar to the sign up form, you can also do a drag and drop. For example, we can drag over, we can add a new image, we could select the image, we could add, let's just do this for example, and you can see that you've got one here. Generally speaking, guys, you want to have your welcome series really, really super on brand, and you want to be giving away that code inside that hero image. We have found via A/B testing, using the subject line and the preview text that follows a strong hero image with a really nice header, subheader, and a solid call to action will generally convert way better than something that's gonna give out that code too far down the fold. Guys, remember, the goal here is to welcome them into the brand, share a little bit about your story, thank them, and give them the code and go ahead and enable that conversion. Maybe when you're out of the domain warming phase, you might want to circle in, add some more sections. We can talk a little bit more about that in a different video. I'm going to have some videos that are exclusively just showing how we design welcome series, what is going to be the emails inside email 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 in some cases, guys. There's a battle tested process that is set to really not only convert, but what we want to do, guys, as well, is we want to get ahead of things and start to already remove some of the potential buyer's remorse so that you guys aren't going to be getting returned or cancelled orders. It's super important. No one ever talks about that on YouTube, guys. Why? Because it's just not sexy. But we're going to show you how we actually have battle tested strategies that do this in the welcome flow and the all-important post-purchase flow. And of course, last but certainly not least, our first touch point after the placed order will always be the customer thank you flow. And it's a great time to remove all of that there buyer's remorse, guys. We've gone ahead and set up our first flow, the welcome series. We're going to build another real quick now, and we're going to do the prevent lost sales tab. Of course, we're going to do our abandoned cart reminder. So this is going to be triggered off of the checkout started event. There is a secondary event in Shopify. It's called added to cart, which is a little bit different. I'll have a YouTube video that explains that versus this. Again, I want to have something that's dedicated just for that. This is the architecture that's going to come with the flow. So let's go ahead and get rid of this conditional split. We'll build it from scratch. I'll be super fast and we'll go through it together. Let's drag an email in here. We're going to go ahead and add another. Below that, we'll add in another time delay. So abandoned cart flows, guys, we want a minimum of 3 emails, an absolute minimum here, guys. Okay, very important. At Dynamax, after a while, we do like to add a 4th, and if metrics dictate, we will even add a 5th when it merits such a flow. We're going to keep our name and logic, and I'm going to show you also some different filters here, guys. I like to personally fire this after 2 hours. 4 hours is a little bit too long. We have found via A/B testing that the conversion is much higher when you wait 2 hours. Then you're going to wait 24 hours for the next one, and the third and final email you will wait 1 day. So that's pretty solid logic right off the rip. So guys, I want to show you, you need to be super careful that you're not skipping recently emailed profiles, guys. Inside of all of your automated flows, trust me, I want you to turn this off. Disable this checkbox. You can also enable UTM tracking. You can even add custom UTM tracking parameters in here. We're going to save that, and you're going to do that inside every email individually. You're going to turn the skip recently emailed profiles off, and you're going to enable your UTM tracking here. So again, guys, we don't want the automated flows to skip anybody for any reason. These are all designed very purposefully, have a really smooth customer journey and hit them at the exact right time. So if we're interfering with that by skipping recently emailed profiles, you're going to hamper conversions. The right time to enable this is when you're sending campaigns. I'm going to show you how to do it in just a second. So what we've done now, guys, is we've built 2 flows like really quick. So let's take a quick peek together at how these templates actually look. So Klaviyo again is going to default with some dynamic content here with a lot of variables. So I'm going to preview this now, and you would see what this would look like. So in your guys' account, it's going to look a little bit different, as my Shopify store is just primarily for testing. We don't actually have any viewed product data for customers because we don't have any. It's just merely an experimentational store. But here it would bring in the dynamic image, the exact image that your customer added into their cart. It'll bring in the quantity and also the total amount. So you can come in here and customize this, but what I need you to pay attention to, guys, is this link address. So if you're going to be adding in any further call to actions and pretty much any images or anything like this, what we like to do, guys, is make sure that every clickable element in the abandoned cart, the added to cart, the browse abandonment emails all have these dynamic variables in them. So no matter where they click, they immediately go back to their cart or back to the product that they viewed. It converts like crazy, guys. Trust me, your emails are going to be banging. If you just remember this, you can simply literally just copy and paste this. Notice I can go ahead and put it in there. Always put in your alt text, guys. So we can do say even van logo, or we could do free shipping logo. For example, we'll go back, that automatically saves it. Notice now we've got our free shipping logo with our link address being the dynamic event. Very important, guys. Okay, guys, look what we've done so far. We've built some segments. We've also done our sign up forms. We have built the welcome series, the abandoned cart flow. Now let's hop quickly into the campaigns. So okay, guys, we're back inside Klaviyo. Now we're going to build our first campaign by selecting create campaign. Let's name it domain warming, and we can call it email 1, so we all have a reference. We're going to go ahead and select continue. Now remember, I said don't use smart sending inside the flows, but do use it inside the campaigns. So as a default, what Klaviyo is saying, if we have this toggled on, anyone that's received an email from us within the last 16 hours, as a default, they will not receive this campaign email. You can go into the account settings and you can go ahead and say 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever you like. Now, I would recommend you just leave it to the 16 hours as a default, as it converts way better. You could select one of your engage-based segments that I've gone ahead and made with you. You can also here, guys, include tracking parameters, custom tracking parameters for all of your ads. You can add UTM parameters, maybe if your guys are running some meta, whatever the case may be. Then we're going to select next. We're inside the templates area. If you guys have made a couple of Klaviyo templates, you're going to have the library options here. You could go in, say, and select this one, use template. Let's see, it's going to loop you back into the builder where you can go in here and we can do all of our edits and everything else. Let's just assume that we're happy with this email. We're going to select next. Now, guys, you're going to add in a subject line in here, some placeholders, for example, so we can proceed. Notice Klaviyo has the sender name, Dynamax in this case, and the default sender email. So this is all going to be hooked up when you're doing your organization settings in the very beginning. So, okay, guys, we're getting closer now to scheduling out the campaign. We do have a newer feature where we can boost engagement by actually adding a follow-up email here. When you're in the beginning, in the middle of the domain warming phase, do not use this feature. This is after you've already established high inbox placement. You can go ahead and squeeze more juice out of the lime by enabling this from time to time. What it's going to do, for example, you can see how awesome Klaviyo is. It's already auto-generated a new subject line, so it will send this email again. It will send the exact same email to people, say, in the engaged 30-day segment that just so happened to not open the first one. It'll go ahead and resend it, and we have found that this is adding literal tens of thousands of dollars per month onto our client accounts. It's very powerful. Use it seldomly. Don't be too greedy with it, as naturally you would expect that if people didn't open the email the first time around, they're not really likely to do it the second time around. However, expect 25 to 35% open rates with this feature. Slightly lower click rates, obviously slightly lower placed orders, but if you're sending emails and you're making an extra, say, 1 to 5 grand with just this follow-up, if you're doing that 4 to 8 times per month, guys, this can stack. It can be literally 6 figures over the course of a year extra in revenue. It's crazy. So go ahead and do that after you've done your domain warming. So we're going to leave that turned off and we're going to select schedule or send. Now you can go ahead here, do the type of send. It'll be fixed time. You can send it right now. Once you unlock the smart send time feature, that will also be in this drop down, guys. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a different YouTube video where I can show it and demo it in real time and give you guys some insights into how to digest the data that gets propagated when you're actually in the first sort of testing phase. You'll then go into a focused phase and then you'll go into an optimal phase. We'll talk more about that in a follow-up. So just again, guys, all self-explanatory: date, time zone, schedule campaign, and you're good to go. So for example, let's do tomorrow. Let's do, again, remember we always want to match our automated flow time, so we're going to do 6:30. We would schedule this campaign. I'm doing this just to show you guys what it actually looks like. That's gone ahead and scheduled that. Let's return, and you can see now that we have our domain warming email one scheduled to go out tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. You could also put in recipient's local time in here. I'm going to go ahead and delete that by canceling, so we're not actually going to do that. Now let's hop back into our Gamma doc and see where we are. So let's have a recap. We have set up the Klaviyo account, integrated Shopify, built our segments, built our first sign-up forms, hooked up our sending domain, made a couple of flows. We have now done our first domain warming email. So next up, guys, is the basic analytics. So I'm going to leave this on the screen here for you. Just try and keep your open rates above 50%, your click-through rates around 1.5 to 2% ideally, unsubscribe rate always less than 1%. You want like 0.0 something here, guys. Conversion rate 5% or better. This is aligned with best practices. When you're in a push season such as Black Friday, Cyber Monday, you might be ramming the emails out there. It's okay for the open rates to dip down to 35 to 45% temporarily. We have some clients on our roster that are seeing constantly 50 to 75% open rates. We've got one that's actually 80% plus. The audience is crazy engaged. So these are just your standard best practice benchmarks, guys. They are variable, niche to niche, brand to brand, to be super honest with you. Last but certainly not least, key best practices and tips, guys. Please trust me, getting your emails delivered is absolutely crucial. When I audit accounts, often see this as a big misstep, that it just simply wasn't done right in the beginning. And what starts to happen is slowly over time, the deliverability gets eroded and you start to drift into the dreaded spam and junk box. Avoid it like a plague by just following along my strategy here, getting all of your NS records and your DMARC policy hooked up in the beginning, doing a nice, thorough, long drawn out domain warming process. So you want to be only sending these campaigns, guys, to the most recent sign up signups, the most engaged members of your audience. Why? Because we know that they're highly likely to open, click, and ideally transact, which is really critical in the domain warming phase. Consent is everything, guys. In your sign up form, you need to add in a disclaimer that goes something along these lines. By signing up, you agree to receive marketing communications from us. It can be that simple. That's you covered consensually, and you can go ahead and send them anytime marketing communications until they ultimately unsubscribe, or the email maybe bounces or you manually suppress them. But you need that consent. You need to have that clear when they're opting in, guys. Very, very important. So you're GDPR compliant, can't spam, and all of that good stuff as well, guys. Do not open yourselves up for a frivolous lawsuit here. There is nefarious and eagle-eyed consumers that literally take advantage of brands that overlook this simple disclaimer step, and they will sue your asses, excuse my French. So don't give them any means or mechanism to do that. Add in that little bit of text below the sign up form. Think mobile first. Minimal scroll, guys. Remember, 75 to 80% all form captures are done via a mobile device. Your emails are also primarily opened on there, around 70%. So do design your emails and do design your sign up forms with this in mind. No scroll, have really clear form fields, input fields, your emails, your marketing angles, strong header, subheader, solid call to action inside that hero image. They'll convert way better, trust me. Right now, more than ever, people have the attention span of a goldfish. You've got about 2 to 3 seconds once that email is open to get that click. I'm telling you, trust me, only your most loyal brand enthusiasts will bother to read the emails. Most people will not. So don't have a scroll fest inside there. Just get to the meat on the bone super quick. For people that maybe like to read and enjoy that, which unfortunately are the minority, then have a variety of different sections and all of that good stuff. Trust me, you'll make more money just simply by doing that. Go beyond just using their name. So what I mean, guys, think zero party data. We don't want to be like, hey, Stephen, blah, 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 blah. We want to be personalize these emails a little bit more. So if you guys say are in, let's for example say supplements, during the sign up form, you could also have more form fields and an extra step that maybe are asking them some questions about their interests. So some people may be interested in anti-aging, wellness, protein, whatever the case may be. You can actually ask for that data there, and you can also have quizzes, all kinds of different things there, so that you can hyper personalize these emails to exactly what products, exactly what interests they are. So go beyond the standard first name and the happy birthday, and you're going to build a really tight-knit community of loyal brand enthusiasts if you go ahead and do that. So be consistent. So again, timings, guys, send at the same time every week. Get used to that. Have consistency. That's the key. Don't forget Klaviyo's own resources. They have the Klaviyo Academy. Me and my team, we also use it. We have a more advanced version of it because we're Klaviyo partners. We get a bit of a heads up and we get extra early insights into new feature sets that are rolling out. However, the Klaviyo Academy is free. It's an absolute goldmine. It's literally the email marketing university for the entire world, guys. Go there and make good use of it. If you guys have internal team members, I highly encourage you to also send in there at least once a month. Send them there for 2 to 3 hours. See what's new, what's hot. Learn more about advanced segmentation, predictive analytics, all of the more granular feature sets once you are a little bit more established, guys. It's an endless gold mine of resource. Honestly, I cannot recommend this enough. Klaviyo should be charging for this, quite frankly. It's like one of the best sources of email marketing information I've ever seen, and I do not get paid to say that, guys, but trust me, it's really, really, really good. So yeah, guys, I think that kind of wraps everything up. So conclusions and next steps. You guys, after watching this, are going to be Klaviyo ninjas. Just go through this, take your time, set up a content calendar. When you're in the domain warming phase, you're going to want to send at least 10 emails, guys. So send 10 over the course of a 6 to 7 week period, and don't go off enabling all of your automated flows all at once. Set the welcome series live, plan your first campaign send 3 to 5 days later, and then you want to start expanding. So welcome series email 2 will go online around day 10, email 3 maybe day 15, the post purchase email 1, abandoned cart email 1, browse abandonment email 1. So slowly turn all of these live while you're starting to see those metrics that I showed you. So let metrics dictate what you're going to do next. Open rates 50+%, add another flow, add some more emails, yada yada yada. You get the point, right? So just go slowly through that phase and try and make sure that you're always above 50%, guys. If you do it, trust me, your emails are going to hit the promo and the primary tabs. You're going to make a boatload of money, and when you're ready for the bigger service, for an agency like mine, when we come in there, we'll be able to hit the ground running and not have to do any domain repairs or hook up new branded sending domains and all of that stuff, guys. Avoid that like a plague. by just following this doc. So that's going to wrap everything up. Again, this Gamma doc is linked down in the description. It's yours to keep. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys like this, please subscribe to the channel, give me a like. It really helps while the channel is growing. And even if you guys want me to go a little bit deeper, go ahead and add a comment on what you guys would like to see next. I do read them and I do reply to each and every single one of them. So if you guys want to see something, if you want to see me build an entire Figma welcome series from scratch, you want to see some of our juicy post-purchase sequences, things of that nature, go ahead and let me know, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now. You've just learned the exact Klaviyo setup process that we use internally at Dynamax to generate anywhere from 30 to 75% of total revenue for our e-commerce clients, and all without needing a team of devs or spending hours pulling your hair out. So now it's over to you. Set up your account, connect your store, launch those key flows, and start turning your email list into a revenue generating machine. But if you're the kind of person who'd rather skip the overwhelm and just get it done right the first time, then that's where we come in. At Dynamax, we specialize in building high-performing Klaviyo systems that scale, and we back it with a really bold guarantee. So if you want us to audit your current setup, spot the revenue leaks, and map out a tailored retention strategy that actually drives results, just hit the link below and book a free strategy call. And hey, if this video has helped you out, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop any questions in the comments. I personally read and reply to each and every single one of them. So guys, catch you in the next one. And remember, email isn't dead. Yours just isn't optimized quite yet. Peace. Bye for now.